Okay, hello everyone. Thank you, Ben, for inviting me here. It's very exciting to meet everyone in RevoU. Yeah, so like Ben mentioned, I'll try to share my experience how you guys can optimize SEM campaign, everything about Google. Feel free to ask. Let me know if I speak too fast or anything. I might not know. You guys can just chat in here. I think in the room I can see that. I will do a lot of demo today. So my slides will be very, very simple. So if you guys can follow the demo, that will be great. And yeah, I believe in the end of this session, we will have a Q&A. Feel free to ask about everything. And yeah, so I'll just start. Let me just share my screen, yeah. Okay, so today we will be talking about Google Ads best practice, basically SEM. Just give you a little bit of background of myself. Who am I? So basically, I am currently based in Malaysia, but I am Indonesian, so I still can speak Indonesia. I've been working in my career life. I've been working as a market researcher in a market research industry for around 3.5 years. And then for the last 2.5 years, I specify myself, divert myself in digital or online marketing industry. Later on, you guys can connect with me on my LinkedIn. My name is there. Yeah, my real name is Catherine. It's a bit long. Yeah, that's my email there. I think Ben can share any my profile later on when we can just connect and talk more if you guys have any questions. So today, we will be going through these points: campaign type in Google Ads, specific SEM campaign or search campaign. I'll touch a little bit on the display and YouTube campaign, bidding strategy, and we'll go through the Q&A. Okay, let's go through the campaign type. I heard from Ben that all of you now learning about SEM search campaign, but I believe before that you guys already know like what type of campaign are actually available on Google Ads. And the first question of every new advertiser, so basically we call ourselves advertisers, basic questions or a lot of questions that comes to me when I was working in Google Ads vendor. A lot of client asking me like, oh, I want to start my campaign. I want to start advertising my business, but what type of campaign I should use? That is the first question. So I just want to let you know, guys, what is actually the most important point or things to be considered when you choose a campaign type. These are actually 4 things that I created. First, you need to know what is your goal of your business, like whether you, and what is your industry.
Sorry, Kate. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt, but can you present your slides?
Okay.
Click present. Yeah, because might not be that. Yeah, it might be too small for us.
Okay.
Okay,
Right,
good.
let me check. Yeah. Can
All
I
good.
import? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. So these are again 4 things. What is your goal of your campaigns, and what is your industry? Every industry has different method on how they advertise their business. Like for example, if you are selling a food or if you're selling cars, for example, if you're working in a car dealer, or if you're advertising about, let's say, a flower, if you have flower business. So every industry has a uh, different type or different methods how they should advertise themselves. And then you should ask yourself, it is a new brand or it is a mature brand if you're working with a big brand. And the last thing is actually your budget, whether your budget is high or whether your budget is low. You guys will have to map all of this all together. Then you will only know which campaign is actually suitable for you. Yeah, so this is actually the next thing. I believe all of you maybe know already that every time you create a campaign, this page will be shown at the first in the beginning. Like they will ask you like select the goal that you want to make for this campaign to successful for you. So Google actually make it like simplify for you whether you want to focus on your sales, leads, traffic, product brand consideration, brand awareness or reach or anything. And then at the very bottom here, it says that create a campaign without a goal guidance. So basically, this is a simplified version. If you hover over one of these, it will say that, actually for website traffic, the most suitable campaign is actually search, display, shopping, or video or discovery. And the other, if you hover over, it will show you maybe like display and YouTube only. And the other things, leads, for example, it will show you maybe search only. So this is the predetermined campaign. And what are the difference actually if you choose this and this? Basically, Google usually there will, for example, if you choose like leads only, it will show, I think search, it should be like search, and then there's only specific bidding strategy available for you, not all the bidding strategy available. So this actually already pre-customized. But if you choose this, can create campaign without the goal guidance, it will enable you to choose all the bidding strategy. So usually, for me, I would go for this because it gives me the flexibility to choose and change the bidding strategy and all the settings later on, because this will enable everything. Some people comfortable, they go from this and then they just want to follow what Google instructed. But for me personally, if you are curious more, or if you are want to like um, customize your own campaign, then you can choose this, because there is no difference whether you want to choose this or choose this. It's just the available settings that will be provided for you. Okay, all right, let's start with the SEM campaign. After you choose a campaign, there will be an option whether you would search for search, display, or YouTube and anything. Because the focus today is for SEM, let's go for SEM. Okay, this 6 point laid out here, actually the main key elements for the search campaign, and actually it's the process how you build a proper search campaign. First of all, you will need a keyword research. Search campaign is uh, very, keyword research is very important for search campaign. So you will need to know actually what are people searching for, what are actually people typing for, and whether the volume is high, whether the price cost per click is high or not. So that is very important. And the tools that I usually use is the first is keyword planner. And the second is, if you guys not know yet, is trends.google.com. So I will show you how it looks like in Google Trend. Okay, so you can actually type anything here and it will give you the search volume you want. For example, let's choose Indonesia for now. And then, okay, maybe don't choose Indonesia. Let's choose something with English. Let's choose Malaysia. And like, for example, if you're like selling flower, we will type like buying flower. All categories. Okay, past 30 days. Okay. Sometimes it shows, sometimes it doesn't show. Buy flower in Malaysia. Yeah, usually it will show. I'm not sure why this is not showing. Yeah, I think either it's my browser, my internet, because I'm using incognito a lot. But usually, if you guys just try out, just type in like trends.google.com, it will show the here. Actually, it will show the search volume, and you can choose for either for the past 30 days or for the past 90 days. And yeah, whether the art category you can also choose. This also will give you the subregions where those search terms are used by which area the most, and then what are the related topics. This is one of the alternative apart from keyword planner. So before we move on to the second step, let me just share what are the important metrics in the keyword planners you guys should pay attention. Okay, I have an example. It's a wine website here. If you guys haven't tried to explore this, try to explore because this is very good for you to give ideas about keywords. You can start with two, either start with keywords or start with website. Let me type like red wine. Okay, so other than red wine, of course, it will show other ideas what actually people usually search for. Usually, I will go for highest monthly searches or high volume, and the competition is medium until low. That's what I'm looking for. So, for example, this keywords like Maryland, around 1 until 10K, it's okay, and this is pretty low. So actually, this is, for example, these keywords actually pretty good and potential. Then you can try, you can see what is the bid. What is the bid here? Usually, if it says like high volume and high competition, the price could be higher or could be lower. So you need to consider this. You can sort. Yeah. So what are the keywords? That actually the metrics that I usually look for. Okay. Once, let's say you guys already found actually what are the keywords that's very important for my campaign. The second step is you need to think what is your campaign message. Okay, I will just say it out loud here because I need to go back and forth to other tab as well. I'll try to present again later if it's too small for you guys. So the second step is that you have to think about what are the message for your campaign. Uh, for this one, let's say what are the message? What I mean is some people usually do it very general, selling wine, the best wine in Malaysia, or the best soda drink in Indonesia. That is, for me, I like to go very specific. Like it's already called, we already know that you are selling something, selling drinks, for example. But what is when people say, "Oh, I want to create a campaign," the name itself called a campaign. So what do you want to say to people? Do you have promotion? What is your USP of your drinks, for example? What is the USP for your beverages? Oh, actually, it's for example, I'm providing promotion this week, like buy one get one. That is actually the specific message I'm talking about. Oh, okay. In the headline, I have to think about buy one get one promotions, limited offer only. So this on the specific thing that you want to offer and you want to shout out to your audience, not only the best drink in Indonesia, for example, the best drink in Jakarta, for example. I would say that it's very general, and your cost, the competition might be very very high. So that's why, for me, I always remind my friends or other people that I'm sharing with, I like to go very specific for my campaign. Okay, So after you think about the campaign message, of course, you need to think about your landing page. Okay, landing page, is your landing page good enough? You don't have to prepare it. Is it user friendly? How is the speed when people open in mobile? So you have to understand the user experience of your landing page. You have to prepare, make sure it's smooth and everything, then you're good to go. I'll come again later how to optimize that everything in the deep. Okay, after you have the landing page, right now think about the ad copy, the headline, ad text, the descriptions. Okay, this back again to the campaign message you want to talk about. In search campaign, the most important is actually ad relevancy, because Google will actually rank your ads, because of course you want your ads to be on the top, right? Number one, because logically people will only click the first top three, okay, the first top three, but the first, if your ads happen to be at the bottom or second page, less people would click or see your ads. How to get your ads on the top then? So the most important thing is ad relevancy. That is the keyword, ad relevancy. What is ad relevancy? Ad relevancy meaning that your landing page, ad copy, your text, your headline and everything, your keyword, they have to share the same word. I mean, literally sharing the same word. For example, my landing page here saying wine tasting. Okay, my landing page saying wine tasting. Then in my keyword, I should also put wine tasting promotion, for example, wine tasting in somewhere, for example, in Jakarta, in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. And also in your ad copy, you have to mention wine tasting, the word wine tasting. The more similar your word between landing page, ad copy, and keyword, the higher your rank is. So literally make it like literally like the same word, because that's how the system actually recognize, oh, actually this is very relevant. Make sure the system can crawl at your landing page and they find these words match with your keyword, match with your ad copy. That is actually the key to have a good ad ranking. And the last one is actually ad extension. Ad extension, let me just go through this is my dummy account where I usually do a demo if I do any training. So you have your ads over here. Okay, you have your ads over here. What is extension? Extension is something that adding value, like if you guys ever open a website, right? Let me just think any good website, for example. Okay, where electronic evaluation. Okay, this one. So this is an ad. Okay, this is your headline. This is actually site link extension, additional link that direct your audience to another pages of within your website. Maybe price, maybe contact us. So something attached to your ad, additional, apart from the description, apart from the headline. So you can all add here. And this is actually very good to optimize your ad, because this will increase your rank again. Okay, not only site link, if you have a phone number, you can always add for call extension. It will show the number. Yeah, you just put any phone number. It will appear here, or other extension like a call out, or if you are selling, for example. So there's a lot of extension you guys can try out here. Use as many as possible, because it will increase again your ad ranking. It will push your ads to the top. So that is actually the main element. So all I'm talking about here, actually the key element, what you have to have in the search campaign. I have a formula here. Actually, this one, you guys can find it in the Google article as well. Just to make it very simple, when I talk about ad rank, quality score, and everything, how to push your SEM on the top, actually. So first, ad ranking. What affects ad ranking? How my ads to be on the top? That's also a very common question I'm getting a lot. I want my ads to be number one. I don't want to be in the second page or anything. My answer will be that ad rank is actually affected by two things: quality score and your bid. What is actually quality score? Quality score has another formula. Quality score is actually built by landing page experience, ad relevance, and CTR. Let's go back again to the landing page experience. Landing page experience is, again, how easy your website to be scrolled, like whether it is responsive, especially nowadays people checking through their mobile phone, right? I believe like 60 or 70% of your traffic will come from mobile. That's no doubt. Okay, so whenever you design a landing page, whenever you check someone else's landing page, you need to try to make it small or open in your phone at least. Try to see how it looks like, whether it's good or not. Because sometimes people just design their landing page in the desktop version, but they don't really consider, oh, actually in mobile version, it looks so messy and everything. Okay, that is the user experience. The second thing affecting landing page is actually the speed. The speed is very important. You guys can try to go to page speed. Okay, speed inside. If you need this link, if you need all these links and sources later on, you can ask me and then I can share with you. So you just put in, okay, my bad. You just put in the website here, and let's check together what is actually the page speed for this specific one page. It takes a little bit time here. Okay, so on mobile, here you guys can choose whether mobile or desktop. Mobile is 56. We always urge our client to have their speed actually in a green indicator. Desktop is pretty good. Like, okay, it's still yellow, but it's not as bad as mobile. Consider your audience again. Depends on the age range again. Maybe like older people around like 30, 40 above, maybe they still prefer desktop. But if your clients like young millennials, Gen X, then everyone just open it in their mobile. So you have to consider this. You can tell your clients or your own business, you check how to improve this. Usually this one you will need to communicate with your web developer how to make this like lighter and user friendly. This one you will have to work together with the web developer. Or usually the most common issue is the images. The images is too heavy, so it's loading very long, and yeah, everything. You guys can try to search also like how many seconds actually your page is open. There's a lot of sources on Google. Just type in how to check speed or timing for my website. So it will show you a lot of sources. You can just use one of them to check how good is your page speed. Okay, that's the second thing. Go back to our formula. The next is actually ad relevance. Ad relevance, as I mentioned earlier, ad relevant literally the same keyword between your landing page, ad copy, and keyword. It will really push your ads and it will have your ads have a very, very high rank. Okay, the last is click-through rate. Click-through rate here is affected by the extension. Go back to the sixth step here is the ad extension. CTR click-through rate is basically the Google system will like forecast or predict how likely your ads will be clicked by people. So the more you have extension, the better actually the CTR is. These all three what makes a good quality score. How to check quality score? Some of you might already know, but the first thing when you check about your campaign performance here, always go to quality score first. You can add a column over here and just type in quality score. Sorry, quality score is under keywords. Yeah, some already adding some keywords. You can type in quality score. Okay. Remember when I said quality score is made up by landing page experience, CTR, and ad relevance. So you can add all these metrics and then you check how it performs here. There is no data because there's no ads running. But this data will appear after you run your ads around 3-4 days or a week, I would say. It will not show like right away after 1 day you run. It will not because it doesn't have enough data. So you guys have to wait until it appears. Then you can review again your campaign. Yeah. So optimizing search campaign is not within one night. Optimizing search campaign, you have to do it very, very gradually, and you have to monitor every day. So again, depending on your goal. If your goal is you want to have a very high website traffic, like I want people to visit my website, I want people to visit. I'm not focusing on conversion, for example. Sorry, I'm not focusing. Yeah, I'm not focusing on getting sales first. I just want people to know about my brand. That is even your brand is new. So you might want to check the clicks metrics here every day, like whether it's increasing, whether it's decreasing, and if it's decreasing, that you might want to check what are the settings and what are actually the demographic you set, what are actually the here the schedule that you set. So when you check about campaign performance, you have to go all these steps one by one. I know it's a bit a lot of work, although it looks like just a merely ads, just like this SEM, but I would say SEM has, for me, SEM has more works compared to display and YouTube campaigns because they are more straightforward. They're just like banner and video, that's it. You cannot edit the video once it's run. You cannot edit the banner when it's run, or unless you're creating a new type of creative. But for search campaign, you have to check the keywords word by word. Copywriter is also very important here. If you're not a copywriter, but if you don't have a copywriter, you can try your best. Like I mentioned, have as similar keyword as possible between the three metrics. And you need to check one by one. Okay, keywords after you run your ads for a week, for example, or actually after 3 days, you can start to look for a search term. Search term here, there will be a list here. What actually people type in on the Google search. That's literally what they type, not your keyword, but what they're typing. If you see there is any irrelevant keyword, you can take that keyword and you can put it as a negative keyword here, so that when people type that, your ads will not trigger to show to them because it's not relevant. But if it's highly relevant and it's not on your search keyword yet, you can usually, there will be a box and then you can there will be an option to add to search keywords. Search terms is also very important to check, and usually in option inside there will be a list of your competitors. Where is your position? So this is also a good metrics to check. How you check the metrics, you can know, oh, actually my position is lower than this brand. If you see, for example, let's say you are selling clothes, and then usually maybe Zalora or Zara.com maybe on the top, then it's a big brand, of course. They have a very big budget, probably compared to your business. Or if there is any other name you can check out, do a research a lot, I would say. Do research a lot, and then you compare with actually what makes them better. Do you feel like their landing page is better? Do you feel like they have much offer, that's why they can win more? So you can always benchmark and always review it every day. That is about the keyword tab here. For the audience tab, this is, I will not go deeper into this because this is usually for remarketing purposes, or if you have specific audience that you want to target. But usually for new business, we don't really recommend, because that might narrow your target, because let's say you just want to target specific audience group. So if you're just starting to penetrate to the market, I would not use this audience. I will just let the system targeting broad and capture, because anyway, search campaign, the way it works is that people actually searching for you, not you are reaching to them. That's why we have to think from their perspective, what they are typing more into the keywords. For demographic, of course, you need to check here. It will show the breakdowns of the number. Which age actually give or clicks more. If let's say, oh, actually 25 under the 34 years old click significant a lot. How to optimize this? There's bid adjustment here. Let's say your bid is like, sorry, I'm saying in ringgit because I'm not really familiar in Indonesia, but as I said, it's like 1 ringgit. I think it's around 3,000 rupiah in Indonesia. Then you can set, oh, I want to bid higher for this. I want to increase like 50%. 50%, then I just save it. Then the system will bid higher and focus more on this age group range. That's one of the optimization you guys can do for search campaign. And for gender, usually we will target both, but if your product is very gender specific, then you can also adjust a bit. Oh, one of the trick here, age. Usually my client, they disable this unknown group. And then usually they will complain, my ads is not running. And then I have to explain, please don't disable this unknown group, because unknown group is basically Google cannot detect what age they are, because they don't really put their age information in their Google profile, for example, or it's just simply that Google cannot detect what are the age. So basically you're losing some of the audience, some of your audience here. Although there is a chance that this unknown group is not fall under your audience group targeting, but it's actually like more than 50% people don't disclose their age. So basically you are losing more than 50% that could be your audience here. So usually I advise them to enable this. If you want to disable, usually they just disable until like 35, 55 if your product is more for young people, but not unknown. Okay, this is also causing a lot of issue here. Why the ads is not running. Okay, the next is actually placement. Placement is also not for search. It's only for YouTube and display. Location, there will be a breakdown of location. For example, if you're targeting area basis, not the whole country, like Indonesia, Surabaya, Semarang, then you can also check the metrics here, which one is perform better. There is a column here, bid adjustment. You can try to adjust your bid again, whether you want to increase or decrease. Okay, there's also ad scheduling. This is also schedule you have to review at actually at what time people is checking your ads, what time people clicking your ads, especially if you have a limited budget, then you have to be smart how you schedule your ads. You might want, for example, I have a client that people only clicking after 5 p.m. until 12 p.m. And then I already have a very limited budget. I cannot afford for people clicking during daytime because it's not really a good quality. So I just pause my ads for a while and then enable it again after 5 p.m. for example, or you can just set a schedule. Okay, and then to the devices. Yeah, if your ads or if your product intended to, for example, if you're in Malaysia, people who likes to click like WhatsApp button, like directly to go to WhatsApp. That's just the typical audience in Malaysia. So most of my ads, actually, I don't bid on computers. But this one, you cannot exclude or like disable just like other tab here. But what you can do is you bid decrease like minus 100%. Oh, minus actually, it's already decreased. So if you do this, the system will not run in computer at all. This is how to put a trick. So the system, your ads will not bid on computers because you cannot disable this. Okay, you can do the same with others if you don't want your ads to show in tablets, people who have tablets, and you can just minus decrease 100%. Other things is, okay, I think that's all. For the change history, is basically every changes you make will be recorded here. If you are working in agency and a lot of people involved, or for example, you and your friend having a business together, then sometimes you're just wondering why this ad suddenly changed like this, changed like that, and no one noticed. Then you have to always change history. Or if you want to know what makes my clicks is high today, what are the changes I made yesterday, you can check here. It is also important things that you always have to check so you are aware what are the changes that you make to make these ads perform better. Okay, usually I will take up my personal note in my Excel sheet, but I also check here. Yeah, so that is actually about search campaign, how to optimize. Yeah, actually, there's a lot of things to optimize, go into the detail, but you guys can ask later. But actually, the main thing that you guys have to keep in mind is the quality score of your keywords. Always remember that. Once you have your quality score good, focus on increasing the ranking of your ads on the top. That is the basic. After you got everything, let's say your quality score is 10 out of 10 or even like 7 out of 10, actually it's good enough, then you can focus to change your budget. For example, you can focus on bidding. Let's say because let's say running a campaign is like you're making a food, I would say. If all the ingredients, all the materials is good enough, then you can always scale up to reach more people. For example, with budget 10 10k rupiah, you can, for example, you can reach like 10k people. Then with higher budget, of course, could be double or even higher. But before you go into that, you have to focus on all the materials, all the basic things, or how is your ad copy, whether it's good or not, whether it's perform well or not, and always think from the customer's perspective. Just think that you are want to buy something. What would you type on your search as a search term in Google search? So that's how you think. After everything is okay, then you can play with the budget, with the bid that you can play with. Okay, if you guys see here, Another very important thing in search campaign is actually policy. Okay, this one is marked as alcohol because in Malaysia they don't allow alcohol. I believe in Indonesia also they don't allow alcohol ads. So be aware of policy before you guys like set up a campaign, because a lot of my client, they already create a campaign, for example, like this one, and then suddenly get this approved. All their creative team, all their digital marketing team, they are ready. They already prepared this for like 1 month or 2, 3 months before, and then they finally want to launch these ads. Suddenly get this approved, and then when they call the Google support, they just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you cannot run these ads with Google." Then every work is wasted. So keep in mind, policy is also important. Try to read mind what is your product, whether it's a drink, whether it's a financial product, for example, that those are very sensitive things. Whether it's yeah, sometimes Google has a lot of policy. You guys have to check where actually Google support is very supportive. Before you run anything, you can confirm with them. Can I run this business? How to go to support? Yeah, you guys can just type in. Even now, right? If you guys need more sources or more information directly from Google, you can always just chat in. Although you don't have account, or probably Google have, yeah, probably you guys already have your own account now. There's account number here, right? If you open your account, you can either go here, get help. I believe it should show here. Okay. Uh, yeah. So there's like contact us. Yeah. So there's like what is this policy? Let's say from this issue, yeah, ads not running. Just for example, Google Ads account. If you are clicking directly from here, it will automatically show which account you're referring to. Then just next step. Okay. During this hour, I think for Indonesia, they only open from 9 to 6. Yeah, 9 to 6. There's like a chat here. You can just chat in, ask as many questions as you want. The answer will be correct and from Google team. So yeah, if you want to increase your knowledge, you can ask anything about performance. You can ask to them. So utilize this as well. Utilize this feature because the most safest way to get your account safe is actually you got confirmation from the Google team. So just in your free time, you have wondering, for example, if you have nobody to ask, you can just chat the Google support and ask them. Okay, that's just one of the tools that you can utilize. Or you just go to this support article, yeah, just contact us and go through the same thing again. Yeah, so be careful of the policy, be mindful. Usually the approval will take 24 hours. Sometimes it could be within 1 hour, but please allow it for 24 hours. If it's more than, please directly chat in, utilize the Google support a lot because they are very helpful. Yeah, because at the time I was working for support for Southeast Asia team. So we actually demanded to give a very accurate answer, correct answer. So just utilize that. Okay, let's move on. All right, we already talked how to build your SEM campaign, how to optimize, basic optimize to make sure your ads perform well. Let's go through another type of campaign. It's called dynamic search ads. Okay, when you create a campaign, I'm not sure if you guys have already done this or trying to create this. But if you create a search campaign here, right? Let's try to create a campaign very quickly. Create new campaign. It's a bit slow. Okay. Choose this, search campaign, continue, website visits. Okay. I always put Zalora. Give me 1 second. S. Okay, let me just yes. It's a 50. Second conversion. Click. Continue. Okay, here, you guys, I don't, you guys might notice, might not notice, but there is ad group type, standard or dynamic. Okay, standard is just standard, like you're creating your keywords and everything. Another type of search campaign is actually dynamic switch. Okay, what is actually dynamic search campaign? Like from the word itself, it's a dynamic. So basically, you don't use keywords and you don't type your own headlines. Okay, it's fully automated by the system because the system wants to match what user type, for example, buying flower in Jakarta. So the system will try to match your headline like buying flower in Jakarta as much as what they're typing. Okay, that is dynamic. So that's why they don't use keywords or you don't have to type your own headline because essentially you can run a group. Okay, I have to create first. Okay, I have to go through everything, but just to give a little bit of overview here, how it works, it's actually, for example, the winery. So the Google system, they will crawl all my website here, trying to take the keywords. So instead of you're the one doing the keywords, but it's actually the system doing it for you. Like they will try to take this, let's say, a sensory experience, for example, or wine tasting, winemakers. Other things is, yeah, wedding wine, maybe. And they're trying to take all the keywords like red wine, the name of the wine, this. So all actually the system do it for you. But somehow it's in a way it's a good actually because sometimes we cannot capture all the keywords or we cannot capture all the search term that people typing for you, right? Uh, in exchange, the system trying to find the keywords for you. Let's say maybe because it's a machine learning, so it's smarter than you. They can scan everything that people might type. How that is actually a good thing. But the downside, if you're sometimes Google cannot crawl the website. Sometimes the website is just full of images and there is less information. For this website, like this, I would say it's not really a good website for dynamic search ads because if you see there's a lot of images and then the description is very short. And this one, like, you have to take read more. And this is like very short. Most of them is just picture. Probably, I would say system can only take a very minimum keywords for this. Unless your website is full of information, full of keywords, the system can crawl it better. Actually, yeah, I don't really like using DSA or dynamic search ads because I like to control my own keywords. I like to control my own headlines. It's more work, but you actually get better. That's based on my experience. Another thing to remember, actually, I don't want to say, oh, actually, such standard search ads is better rather than this type of dynamic. You will need to test, do a lot of A/B testing. If you guys are familiar with these terms, A/B testing, like you're comparing For example, you have a budget like 10K, split the budget 50-50 with different campaign types, see which one works better. If one doesn't work, pause, stop the other one, allocate the budget to another campaign. So that's like A/B testing. So a lot of testing you need to be done if you are doing a campaign, if you are running a campaign. Yeah. So same with this campaign type, whether it's search type of standard type of campaign or dynamic, you can split the budget. You can try which one works for you. If it turns out sometimes, sometimes the system like can surprise you. I personally surprised a lot by the system that the thing that I thought it wouldn't work, but actually it works better than what I thought. That's why that's very important to do a lot of testing also. Yeah, that one I already talking about A/B testing, but just keep in mind there's no right or wrong in setting up the campaign. A lot of testing need to be done. Yeah, so there is a difference between dynamic search ads and standard. So the pros actually it save time, right? Like I said, you don't have to type your own keyword, and it's show relevant and dynamically generated automatic, and it capture additional traffic where where it's not captured by you. But the other is actually it's not suitable if your website changes rapidly. So the system cannot just scroll every day, cannot. It takes time, at least like 24 hours until 48 hours. If your website changing every day, then it will just mess up everything. And it won't work for sites for some industry, pharmaceutical, because it will relate it to another policy again. And it doesn't work with websites that contain a lot of flash images because keywords is important for dynamic search ads. Okay, that's actually more or less about search campaign. I won't talk much about display and YouTube campaign because I want to focus more on the bidding strategy. What are the flows for how to actually manage your bidding strategy? Just a very straightforward display and YouTube campaign. It has different purposes because it's visual. Remember, search campaign is that you're targeting people directly who has direct intention for your product because they're search themselves. But for display and YouTube, you show the ads in front of them while actually maybe they're not really looking, but based on their interests, based on their everyday activity, then suddenly an ad showed to you. So they don't have a direct intention. Actually, it's more for like awareness. Like, oh, I just want people to know my brand. Actually, no need. I'm not targeting those who want to buy. Then you can try to just display on YouTube or for remarketing purposes. If you guys ever feel like you are being following by Google, sometimes I know sometimes people just feel scary. I just opened some flower website. After this, my phone and everything will be followed by flower. Definitely confirm. Because I just type a lot of flower. The system actually captured that. The advertiser using display and YouTube campaign to remind me, hey, actually yesterday you were searching for search campaign. Today, here is a display and video campaign for you. So you would buy my product. So actually it's more for remarketing purpose, I would say, and awareness. Okay, there is display and YouTube campaign. Okay, let's go to bidding strategy because of the time constraint. Yeah, this is bidding strategy. The basic bidding strategy is there are more than this. Yeah, there is ROAS, but this is the basic one. Usually I will start with maximize click. Maximize click meaning that you want to maximizing the clicks, getting a traffic first. In Google, you cannot start directly with conversion. If you start directly with conversion or this bidding, your ads will not run. Maybe can, but it's just like one click and then stop, and then evening they will start again. Confirm, it will not run. So Google logic is that you have to bring your ads to the market first, get people clicking, and then after the Google like collecting all the information, all the clicks, then you can start to change Actually, how long you have to change? Maybe I would say give it like a week, or if you're really in a rush, usually like 3 days or 4 days. Okay, that's with a note that your campaign running since the first day and it shows you a good performance, have a lot of clicks, meaning that Google is supplied with a lot of data, which it can use for your next bidding step. The next one, okay, maximize click is you can set a cap whether you want to bid 1 ringgit, whether you want, sorry, as I've been saying in ringgit, I'm just very get used to. If you say bidding 1 ringgit or 2 ringgit, for example, um, you can set a cap maximum so it doesn't bid blindly suddenly like 10 ringgit, 15 ringgit. You can set, and then after you got an idea how much per click, you can check in your dashboard cost per click. For example, oh, actually it's only 50 cents. Then you can start to change to manual CPC. Manual CPC meaning that you have to change every bid manually for every keyword. It's a lot of work again. But if you really want to control your costs, then you can use this. But this is actually optional. And if you have a high budget, that is for my experience. If you have like low budget, I prefer using Maximize Click because I let the system automate the ads for me because the system knows better when the people actually search in which time period actually people search for that. So I like to let the system do that for me if I have a low budget because that will lower down my CPC. Manual CPC, if you have a very high budget and if you want to control every keyword. This is actually for those who already know their market a lot, who are very confident with the keyword and they search them. Okay. If you don't want to use this, you can jump into maximize conversion. Actually, this depends on the funnel of the sales. Mm, Funnel means, for example, okay, just very quick one for funnel. Um, if you have a new brand, of course, you want to let them know awareness first, awareness. And then after you go to awareness, I would say awareness is here, people clicking, getting traffic and everything. And then it goes down to the next funnel, which is you want to attract people or you want people to buy your product. When people want to buy your product, that's when you move to the next step, the next bidding strategy, maximize conversion. Meaning conversion, meaning that specific action is not only purchase, for example, like form submissions, because let's say form submissions is like people showing interest to your business, they want to know more. Okay, it doesn't make sense if you're using this in the first place because if your business is new, nobody wants to just you suddenly fill up the form or asking a question without knowing what are your product actually is. So this is actually if the next step after you do this awareness, and this is when people interest in your product start to take some actions, you go for maximize conversion. Target CPI is actually a manual, I would say manual conversion cost. Actually, this is the manual version for click, but this is the manual version for conversion. For example, one action or one sales cost you like 10 ringgit. After you monitor your dashboard, then you can go to this target CPA, like you want to control your cost again. It's the same, but this one if you have a very high budget and if you want to compete more with other competitors. This is actually the same. This is for awareness, this is for taking actions after that. This is the flow, the bidding strategy you can gradually change during your campaign period. Okay? Yeah, so never use conversion or target CPA when your campaign just run for the first time. Always start with this or this. That's fine. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So back to Ben again. There
Okay.
are any questions and everything?
Thank you, Kate, for the insightful presentation. Now we'll move on to Q&A session. I got some questions here on Slido. So guys, if you still have any questions, feel free to drop them on Slido. The link is on the chat. So Kate, can I share my screen now? Okay, let me share.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, here are the questions. So first questions, it's from B. So whoever B is, let me know if your
Okay.
answer. Okay, so if you were given a specific budget for 1 month to spend on Google Ads, SEM, search ads, how to maximize the budget other than adding more keywords?
Okay, let me read it. If you were given specific budget for to spend on Google Ads, how to maximize the budget, then other more keywords. Okay. Um, First, depends on the purpose. If you just want to maximize the budget, what is maximize the budget here? If you just want to spend the budget, right? Adding a keyword, I would say it's not saying that, oh, if you want to maximize the budget, just add some more keywords. It doesn't work like that, actually. Um, because it depends again whether people clicking on it or not. How to maximize? You can try to play with the bid, like I mentioned. You have to review again. For example, like bid 1 ringgit. Actually, it's not spending the whole budget. You're given 50 ringgit to spend, but it's only maybe like 25 ringgit. You can play with the bid. Playing with the bid meaning that actually, if you are not spending, meaning that you are not winning enough the auction, you are losing more in the auction. That's why the system not showing your ads again. It's not showing your ads. If it's not showing your ads, of course the budget is not spending because you're not paying for impression, you're paying for clicks. How to maximize? You can try to play with the bid first, or again optimize your landing page, the ad relevancy, and the CTR extension. Playing with that, you have to up everything to make sure everything is in a good position. Then only the system will start to spend. All the campaign that has a very good quality score keywords. I just had my campaign today. Very simple. I don't really have to do much to spend my budget because all my keywords it says like 7, 8 point out of 10, above average, above average. So you don't have to think. But if you still it doesn't spend, either you increase your bid or you optimize again the keywords, landing page, ad relevancy, and click-through rate. Hope that's answered.
Okay, thank you, Kate. So B, whoever you are, is there any follow-up questions? Feel free to unmute yourself or chat or tag, put it on the chat. Mm, I guess B is satisfied with the answer already. Okay,
I hope so.
moving on. Moving on, next questions. It's from Vincent. So, is there any difference between using Google Keyword Planner and paid tools like SEMrush, Ahref, or Ubersuggest?
uh, there's not, it's actually preference. Like my company is also using like SEMrush and like, what do you call it? A similar web to look for like keywords. So it's not different. It's just you have to compare and test again. Sometimes Google Planner is also not 100% reliable, I would say, because sometimes they're given. Sometimes my clients saying, "Oh, it's actually the same data over and over again." It's the system. You just have to compare which one is better, tool suitable for you, which one give more insights, and do more research. There's not much different. You just have to search more about your audience. I would say any tools would help.
Okay, so in your personal opinion, Kate, so which tool is the best tool to use on, working on SEM other than the Google Trend and Google Keyword Planner? Not trying to promote any tools, but
Mm.
yeah.
I would say similar word, similar web is not bad. SEMrush is also not bad actually. Other than that, really, because it's just keyword. Oh, okay. Actually, the best tool for me, rather than using all the fancy tool, I run my campaign for like 3 days or 4 days, then I check the search term. That will confirm also the
Mm,
best keyword research actually, because there's no way to guess 100% correct. Oh, this keywords actually works better. You have to start the campaign first, check the search term. That is actually the best.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Moving on to next question from Pupu. So Pupu, are you there? You can unmute yourself if you want to ask.
Yeah, feel free to ask. It's
Yeah.
nice to see you guys' voice. But yeah, if you're selling branded stuff, is it better to have general keyword or mentioning the brand name or type? Nice question. Actually, a lot of my clients create a specific ad group and they put like all the competitors keywords. And then for let's say you're selling Chanel and then you're putting Prada, Hermes in one of your keywords, and they're coming to me why my ads is not spending for that ad group. The answer is actually pretty much straightforward. Of course, it will not run, and it's not good to have mentioning other. Oh, sorry. I think I understand the question incorrectly. Is it better to have general keyword or mentioning the brand name or type? Okay, sorry, Pupu. I thought you were mentioning a competitor brands. Um, okay, let me answer this first. It's better to mention your brand name if your brand already well known, but be careful if your brand is being trademarked, you will get the policy trademark as well. Some branded stuff they already register their trademark with Google, so you need to check. Again, check the support, ask whether this XXX brand is a trademark. If it's a trademark, if you are an authorized reseller, you can request for trademark authorization or the certification for your account. If it's not trademark, feel free to use the brand name. But again, general keywords, you need to make sure that that is the more general keywords, the more expensive it is, the more competition it is. So always think specific, I would say. Yeah,
Okay.
just adding because I already talked about the competitor, right?
Mm,
Just
yeah. Feel
adding
free.
that, I wouldn't suggest if you put like a competitor's other brand's name while you are not actually selling that, because it will lower down, it will bring down the whole quality score. Um, Although some strategy, right? Okay, we want to put a strategy. If they type this, okay, our ads can show. Maybe you can do that, but you cannot do that for a long term because it will definitely bring down the whole of your quality. That's it.
Okay. Apparently Pupu is texting on the chat. So
Yeah, you're welcome.
all right then. Moving on to the next question. Does the data on Google Ads search include data on YouTube and other Google platforms?
Uh, uh, what would I don't really understand the questions. Does the data on Google Ads search include data on YouTube? Maybe you can clarify again.
Yep. Uh, can clarify on chat, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about if it's if it's about the keyword, would it show? I mean the keyword planner. Is it also the data from
Does the
YouTube
data on
as
Google
well,
Ads search
or
include
is it only from Google search?
other
I think it's
Google
that.
platform? Okay. I just assuming this question. Yeah, you can correct me later on the chat or tell them later. Does the data on Google search ads include data on? Okay. It's hard to to understand. But if you mean that Google search ad search include data on YouTube, Google ad search is actually showing uh, on the display network as well. Could if you choose there is option actually whether you want to show on the search partner other than Google platform, like search partner from Google, for example, or in display network. Display network means your search campaign can also show as a display in a website. You can choose, there is an option when you create a campaign, there is a setting. So whether you want to include or not, it's up to you.
Okay, so when it comes to keyword planner, Kate, does the data on keyword planner also includes the data on YouTube? The
No,
no, the
no,
search
I don't think
volume.
so. Yeah. No, that one only on Google search.
I see.
Yeah, on
Okay.
Google search.
All right. I was thinking that the question may be about the keyword data.
Maybe keyword planner.
All right then. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So
What
from
do
DM,
you think about Google Planner? What is the difference between Google Keyword Planner and Google Trend? I mean, okay, Google Keyword Planner give you like a more detailed data actually. Like you see, you can actually predict the forecast, the CPC, the volume. It's so okay, if you guys like go to the Keyword Planner, it's give you pretty much detail related directly to your search campaign. For Google Trend, it's just a very general search. But sometimes when the ads is not running or the ads is not spending the whole budget, right? We are checking both keyword planner and also Google Trend. Oh, actually during this time, it's not so many people search for this. That's why it's not your issue, but also I mean like it's not the campaign issue. It's just the external issue. So the advantage of Google Planner is give you more detail, of course. Google Trend is just not very detailed. It's just very general.
okay. Any disadvantages to Google Keyword Planner? And
The disadvantages Google Planner. Sometimes sometimes it doesn't work as intended. Sometimes it gives error, to be honest, or is the data is not really updated. And when we ask Google, there's no particular reason, like technical issue, I would say. So yeah, that's actually the only disadvantage. More into technical issue.
okay then. All right then. DM. So any follow-up questions, maybe unmute yourself or type it on the chat. If not, we'll move on to the next question. So next question would be from Anonymous. So what are the skills that we need to learn in order to be able to make great ad copies? Care to
Okay.
share some tips on ad copy best practices?
Okay. Ad copy. Actually, myself, I wouldn't say I'm a good copywriter because it's. I admit it's very difficult to make an ad copies. Um, I would say you just have to look at other ads on Google search. Just try to type anything and then see how they write the search. Try to look at the ads is always on the top because definitely they are like a good ads. Try to look at that and you can try to be inspired by just be creative and try to do a lot of research. There is no copywriter born like very skillful and good copywriter. You just have to do a lot of research. It takes time really. Even me until now, sometimes I have to correct, doesn't make sense. This word just doesn't make sense. That's why sometimes there is specific copywriter role at the company. Yeah, if you really want to make a good copywriter, you just do a lot of research and compare. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Kate, for the tips. So next question. What are the true advantage of running SEM channel? Any insight as to how to combine SEM with other channels to have a comprehensive marketing campaign?
Yeah. So for this one, right, true advantages, like I mentioned, try to think that search campaign is You are reaching out to people who directly have direct intention for your product. For example, you want to buy a bag, like a backpack. Then people will type in a backpack and your ads will show to those people. So it's just communicate and reach out directly to people who looks for a backpack. So that is the true advantage of SEM. It's more for leads, for like purchase, direct purchase or conversion. Yeah, that is SEM. So if your client say, I want leads meaning that like you're getting information of people, potential buyer, or you're getting directly sales. So we usually doing SEM channel. How to combine? The very easy combination, the basic combination is actually do a remarketing with other channel. Once they click, you can actually in Google Ads, if you are familiar with conversion tracking, you can retarget, collect those audience who visited your website, and then you can retarget them with your display or YouTube. It's kind of remind them. Remember when I said you always been following with the same ads once you open a certain website, you open a backpack, and then tomorrow you will get a backpack display. That's how people actually use it. How they combine into the marketing campaign. Remarketing is also very important because you cannot just reach out to them or they don't not interested, they click but they're not buying, and then you stop. You cannot just stop like that. You have to keep approaching them, like, hey, do you remember? Or if you subscribe to email, right, sometimes they just constantly sending you email. Hi, do you still remember me? Hi, or whatever, they're doing email marketing. So that is actually another marketing channel that people use to retarget people. That's how you use a comprehensive marketing campaign, I would say.
Okay, so any combination with Facebook maybe?
Okay, for Facebook, you need to understand your audience actually. Facebook is also good. I'm doing both. Facebook depends on the target audience and who are your audience. You have to build your buyer persona. You have to build who are actually for okay, depends on your product again, right? Let's say you're selling a branded stuff. People nowadays maybe they start to buy branded stuff on Facebook because it's more become more and more trustable, right? So you have to think from that perspective. Or maybe like very expensive stuff, let's say like jewelry. Would people actually buy jewelry on Facebook? Would they trust? Because Facebook is more like social media or something like clothes, maybe. Depends. You have to research about that, which where is your audience? That's how you combine.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. This one is a bit interesting. So it's regarding the issue that has occurred with Facebook due to iOS 14. Is Google Ads affected as well with the iOS 14
Okay,
update?
for this one, I haven't heard any update to be honest from Google because usually if there is any update, everyone will be like moving around. I haven't, me personally, I haven't read anything, and I haven't heard from my colleagues that still working there whether there is any effect. I have no information on this. Yeah, sorry, I don't have any information at the moment. It's only Facebook.
Okay, then we'll just have to wait then. Okay,
Or you can just chat into the Google support. You can ask. They will find the answer for you.
good one. All right, next question. So, any way to go around Google's policy to advertise products that are restricted?
Please don't. That's my only suggestion because that can lead your account to being suspended. There is no way out for Google. Google is very sensitive in terms of policy. Please don't try to make your ads being disapproved, and there's no way um, to bypass it. Even a big spender, we still say no to them. So try to protect your account, because once your account, for example, gets suspended, if you're using other email address, they might detect that where it comes from. Sometimes Google uh, algorithm machine learning is just very smart. So try to protect. Just don't try any go around. There's no way to advertise products that is restricted.
Okay, so don't be naughty. All right, next question. So, in what ways is SEM better than SEO?
Okay. SEO is actually organic, right? If you want SEM and SEO is actually, if you really want to build a brand, I would say, if you have your own brand, it will be great if you're using trying SEO as much as possible because you want to build, right? But it's, let's say you are, this is just based on my personal opinion. Let's say you're just like distributing something, like you're a reseller. That's an example. You're just selling a bag or clothes from other reseller. You just want to sell it without building your brand. Just use SEM directly then. No need to consider or care about SEO because you're not building your brand. You're just distributing, and then you just want to get sales from there. That way, SEM is better than SEO.
Okay, there's a great questions to follow up with the previous question. So, how do you differentiate SEM and SEO keyword? How to strategize on which should be SEO and which should be SEM, as both are on search.
Okay, so for um, SEM, SEO, actually, there's not much different because when you create a keyword, right, like I mentioned, you have to make it similar, like your landing page. Your landing page, all the copies on your landing page, it will related to your SEO again. So actually, I would say it's not much different. Where it's just whether or not you want to appear like organically or ads. So if you're typing something like Chanel, probably even organic is already come out, right? Maybe both ads sometimes and their organic show together.
Mm.
So I would say it's not to differentiate, but it's to build both side by side because it's same, like you mentioned, it's same. Both are on search, so you have to build it, not to. There is no different like, oh, this is keyword for SEO, this is keyword for SEM. That's just based on my perspective.
Okay. Any way to test keywords from SEM before we go optimize it on SEO, or is that not a common practice?
Mm, mm, yeah, using using those tools like SEMrush or SimilarWeb or anything or any SEO tool, keywords tool, actually that way you can look how many searches actually. For keyword planner would help, but basically keyword planner also would help, but usually uh, they will use other tools to use like keywords. So yeah, if you're building a brand, just use more tools other than keyword planner. So you test that, you know which one has more volume.
Okay. Moving on. Next question from Malvin. So, Malvin, do you want to unmute yourself, or should I ask the question for you?
Okay, sure. So, Kit, I want to ask. Sometimes I use responsive search ads just to get the
Mm-hmm.
most shown combination by Google, and I assume that Google know which combination works the best, and then I take those ads and put it into a traditional text ads. I want to ask: is it a good method, or should you just leave the RSA and create some other text ads? What do you think?
Uh, okay. Actually, that is a good idea also, a good way. However, I also have RSA and the ATA themselves. Apparently, based on result, the RSA will have more clicks somehow rather than the standard text ad. because I think because more people clicking on the RSA, maybe you have to test on your own first which one actually yielding more. Because when you create, okay, you create RSA and then you create your own text. One of them might not run usually. That's just based on my campaign experience. But it's a good method. You can always try.
Okay, thank you, Kate.
Okay, thanks, Marvin, for the question. So, last question. I've heard about API. What is Google Ads API?
Okay, this one I'm not really expert on this, but I heard that I think it's kind of like integration. There is Google Ads API I heard, but I'm not really familiar. I think it's some kind of integration into the Google Ads platform. But sorry, I'm not familiar with this.
Okay, so would it be useful for us, us, general digital marketers, this API? Should we learn more about this, or should we just leave it to the engineers?
Uh, yeah, I think API things, right? It's more for developer. We don't really use that. I don't really, even I'm not really familiar to be honest. So no, maybe it's a more advanced, very advanced. But even the advanced agency from my friends that I know, they haven't used this because it requires developer and yeah, engineering, like you say, to connect the tech. Yeah.
All right then. So I guess that's it for our questions. So
Okay.
it's 9:30, yeah, 8:30 in Jakarta time. So I
E-
guess this is the end of our session.